Let's go clean up to the elbow. Well, Vegas was in the swamp tapping alligator skin. So we snuck in the swamp trying to get the boy.
And thank you for the Undercroft for having us. So this is our first ever Downtown Waco Music Series event. I'm really excited for our performer who's about to perform for y'all. He's an amazing local guy. His name is Josh Barnard, and he is awesome. He's in a band here called The Standards. I'm really excited for y'all to hear him. Thank you so much again for coming. Drink a lot, have fun.
Well, we just released a single last week with Standards. Song I wrote about traveling to Big Bend and having a risky time. Well, this mountain, he made it to climb, but the unforgiving desert pays no mind to a deviating soul, one at a time. When you're hitting the chest with the wind and the rain, you'll be soon to remember your Creator's name, and you call His name, get no reply. Well, just hold on a little longer. You're only getting stronger every day. And you know, the more you go under, the more you put together at the end of the day. Well, we're pulling up at the Saints, your last stop. You can ride this trail until you want to get off. You don't have to get off until you made up your mind. But B1's road turns a bit rough. The creek's washed it out, so you better buckle up, or it'll make you tough. Soon you will shine. Well, just hold on a little longer. You're only getting stronger every day. And you know, the more you go under, the more you put together at the end of the day. Just hold on a little longer. You're only getting stronger every day. And you know, the more you go under, the more you put together at the end of the day. Well, just hold on. And you know, the more you go under, the more you put together at the end of the day. Thank you. If you've ever been to Big Bend, or if you ever have any aspirations of going to Big Bend, don't go this time of the year. We went right after Christmas, really. We got there we drove all day. You know, it takes forever to get there. And we pull up in the park. The guy at the gate says, "Sorry, we're full." And I was like, "What do you mean you're full? This place is huge." It's like, "No, we're at capacity. You guys got to go somewhere else." I'm like, "Well, where else do you go? We're out in the middle of freaking nowhere." He's like, "There's an RV park up the road." I'm like, "Great, we'll go spend our vacation at the RV park. Thank you." No, we actually got in the next day. There's a lot of funny stories from this trip. It was a rough trip, but it ended up being funny. I kicked a box of pancakes, I think, at the RV park. My responsibility was to get water-only pancakes, and I got egg and milk pancakes. We didn't have that, so I was like, "Well, these are useless." Punted them, made it snow. It ended up being a really fun trip. We got in the next day and got to see a lot of really cool stuff. But if you go, try to not go like right after Christmas, I guess, because it gets full. Anyways, that same week that I wrote that song as soon as we got back, and that same week I wrote this next song. It's called Cycles, I think. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. The sun, the moon, the stars, all around they go, they never stop. The tide shall rise and fall, the force of man can set them to a halt. But you and I are here. Is this the only chance we got? Place we merely hold that which we have brought. King and queen rise on up to our throne, they claim their own. The round declares a mold, a wealth of greed and not enough of hope. But you and I are here. Is this the only chance we got? In this place we merely hold that which we have brought. The harmony is off. Wait a moment and it will resolve. The shells continue to drop, or children see the day they finally stop. But you and I are here. Is this the only chance we got? In this place we merely hold that which we have brought. trying the single malt Falcones over here tonight. It's pretty good. If anybody wants any of that, go check it out.
Yeah.
Leaning on a good tune and a good time. Chameleon blending in with green grass. Usually the life of the party, while reaching for something she can't grasp. Go on and lend a hand if you want to, but consider for a moment before you do that she's a fair weather woman, the kind that don't hang around for long. Soon as the wind starts blowing, you'll find you're standing in the cold alone. Creature of habit, she plays a safe hand, for fear of losing all she has acquired. Gathers sticks and stones, plans building some self-worth, but throws them at the shadows of her home. Go on and lend a hand if you want to, but consider for a moment before you do, she's a fair weather woman, the kind that don't hang around for long. Soon as the wind starts blowing, you'll find you're standing in the cold alone. She's a fair weather woman, the kind that don't hang around for long. Soon as the wind starts blowing, you'll find you're standing in the cold alone. Thank you. I wrote this song one morning when I woke up, and I was like, damn, I hadn't written a song in a while. I need to write something, but I don't want to get out of bed. So I wrote about that. Try to hide my face, keep the sun from my eyes. I'm just not ready to resume this fight. 1,000 different things yet and left to do, but all I wanna do is lie here with you. But I ain't my gun high, and I chase that light. Warm black coffee washing over my tongue, making up a list of what needs to get done. with every day that passes, you would think it gets shorter. What I give to drop it all and make off for the border. But I ain't my gun high, and I chase that light. No knowing if I'm going to make it or not, but there ain't much I can do, 'cause it's the best I got. So I hold my head high and my shoulders back. No use in feeling sorry, no, I'm done with that. And I ain't my gun high, and I chase that light. Yes, I ain't my gun high, and I chase that. Thank you. While I'm in the neighborhood of C right here, I'd like to play you a song by one of my favorite songwriters. Is that all right? Is that against the rules here? Any Guy Clark fans? Yeah. He's probably like one of my favorites of all time. Maybe my favorite. I wish I had a dime for every bad time, but the bad times always seem to keep the change. You've been all alone, so you know what I'm saying, when all you can recall is the pain. Just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Every day it gets just a little bit better. Well, half the getting there is knowing where you've been before. Well, I'm sure you understand, 'cause I ain't your first man. And when you feel like running for the back door, just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. And I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Just you wait until tomorrow when you wake up with me at your side and find I hadn't lied about nothing. I wouldn't trade a tree for the way I feel about you in the morning. Anyhow, I love you. Yeah, anyhow, I love you. Thank you. Got question. Floor moans and gives without trying, and the windows leak half of the time. My heart stays true, for I have only you on my mind. You're looking at a home, not a house. And before we wind up on the outs, I'd like to give it a try. You might change your mind when you find out what I'm all about. So why don't we live here together forever? Is that too much to ask of you, dear? Well, living ain't easy, but easy living right here. You're the finest I can recall. You don't need to lift a finger at all. Just come here to me, I'll make this guarantee. Bells will ring before the leaves fall. So why don't we live here together forever? Is that too much to ask of you, dear? Well, living ain't easy, but easy is living right here. Well, why don't we live here together forever? Is that too much to ask of you, dear? You know living ain't easy, easy is living right here. Living ain't easy, easy is living right here. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a whole lot easier to do this when you're out of town. You don't know any of the faces in the crowd. I've been sitting on this song for a few years now, and when I wrote it, I never really intended to play in it. It was just kind of one of those things that you have to do. But my grandmother, she was a first-generation Italian-American. Her parents came over from Italy, and she originally was living in Detroit, And my great-grandfather was not a very nice man. He was involved with the Italian muscle in Detroit, and there was a lot of abuse in those circles. So my grandmother actually went in and out of orphanages and eventually ended up here in Waco with my great-grandmother, trying to get as far away as they could from Detroit. And then my great-grandmother married into this Italian family here in Waco, which was like the same damn thing. And they actually ran all the clubs over in no man's land over on New Dallas Highway, which was an interesting place to be in the 50s because people like Hank Williams would come through or Bob Wills would come through. And so my grandma had some pretty incredible stories about, you know, she'd be there before and after the club was open and closed, so she had some pretty cool stories about hanging out with these dudes. She was a tough little lady. She was, I think, 4'7" when she passed away, something like that. Tiny thing. But she was mean, stubborn, and, you know, she got her way all the time somehow. She was a really incredible person. But I spent a lot of time with her, really just her last few days on Earth, and it was a pretty incredible experience. She was raised Catholic, and I actually inherited her Bible whenever she passed, and she had some handwritten prayers in there, just kind of pleading with God to allow her into heaven despite her smoking and cussing habit. And she was like seriously troubled about these things, and I'm like, man, I'm glad that, you know, I'm not so concerned about these things. But she, I mean, up until the last day, she was like, these were things that really bothered her. And there's probably more song to come about her experience. It was a very rich experience. But anyways, I wrote the song shortly after she passed, and I've never played it before. Hopefully I make it through it, we'll see. Your back is broken, your body is warm, your hands are tender, though you fought the great storm. In your eyes I see strength and so much love to give. You have my heart since I was a kid, but it hurts to see you in this state. I think about the times that I failed to appreciate His loving arms you'll sail into, just like you wanted to do. And that's the last prayer I prayed for you, and that's the last prayer I prayed for you. You sure put up one hell of a fight. It didn't always go your way. Sometimes you weren't in the right. This stubborn heart is strong because of you. You give me the strength to see this on through. But it hurts to see you in this state. I think of all the times that I failed to appreciate loving arms you'll sail into, just like you wanted to do. That's the last prayer I prayed for you. That's the last prayer I prayed for you. The final look in your eye was not one I liked, where I saw fear, a fear for your life. But don't you worry now, I heard you speaking with him. He knows your heart, and the girls are waiting for you. It still hurts to see you in this state. I think of all the times that I failed to appreciate his loving arms you're sailing to, just like you wanted to do. That's the last prayer I pray for you. That's the last prayer I prayed for you. Well, things that make me happy. Playing music, Merle Haggard. Music, Guy Clark, Merle Haggard. Music. Anybody know who Whitey Shafer was? Whitey Shafer, songwriter. Yeah, Whitey Shafer. He was a fantastic songwriter. He wrote All My Exes Live in Texas. Yeah, he was from right up the road in Whitney. Yeah, he wrote this song with Lefty Frizzell, and Lefty cut it and Hag cut it, and it's probably my favorite song of all time. I've been throwing horseshoes over my left shoulder. I've spent most all my life searching for that four-leaf clover, yet you ran with me, chasing my that's the way love goes. That's the way love goes, babe. That's the music God made for all the world to see. It's never old, it grows. Losing makes me sorry. You say, honey, don't worry. Don't you know I love you too? And that's the way love goes. That's the way love goes, babe. That's the music God made for all the world to see. It's never old, it grows. Losing makes me sorry, but you say, honey, don't worry. Don't you know I love you too? And that's the way love goes.
Josh Barnard, y'all. Please give it up again one more time.
Thank you.
You almost made me cry like 3 times. It's fine. It's fine. So, you've been here in Waco for
My whole life.
a whole life.
Yeah, seriously.
Whole life. But playing music for how long?
My whole life. Seriously. I mean, it's really one of the first things I remember. My grandfather is a Southern Baptist preacher who also played guitar and led worship stuff, I think. I don't know, I never saw that happen, but I know, like, during the holidays, guitars and things would come out. My grandma played accordion, my uncle played piano, so it was just like around. And it was like, this is what you do when you grow up, you play music.
You're so lucky because everybody else is like, I'm going to be a musician. They're like, no, you're not. Ever.
I actually, I tried really hard to find somebody initially in the church who would teach me some things about the guitar, and I didn't make a whole lot of headway with that. Though I did have a guy hand me a circle of fifths one time, and I was like, I don't know what this is. Okay, thank you. I'm 9. But we had a really good family friend who moved here from a different country, and he stayed with my dad for a while, and he didn't pay any rent, which is totally cool with my dad. But
He played for a supper.
he taught me piano for like 2.5 years in exchange for that. So
Nice.
it was an extended offer. I had to make the decision to do it, but that's my original like foot in the door. Really was he gave me 2.5 years of piano. I actually took lessons from him for like 9 years. Classical piano though, which does nothing for this type of thing. But he always told me. I was like, when are we gonna learn to play the guitar? Because that's really all I want to do. And he's like, if you learn the piano, you will be able to figure out the guitar. And I was like, that doesn't get me any further, but okay, let's go back to this Beethoven stuff, I guess.
What was the first thing that you heard in your life that sparked that moment that you were bit by the music bug?
Well, I mean, there just wasn't any other thing, you know, that was it. I mean, my other grandfather built racing engines. And so I remember from a young child, it was like, I'm either gonna build race cars or I'm gonna play music. And then I remember I tried really hard to get into the racing thing. And my grandpa was like, son, the internal combustion engine is about dead. So you need to find a different career path. And I was like, okay, music it is. And that was pretty much it. And also, I played in the drum line at school, and
Snap?
which also happened. Friday night football games is also the same time that the circle track is running. So it was like you're either gonna be at the racetrack or you're gonna be at the football game, and I was at the football game, so you know, that was it.
Do you remember the first moment though the music bug got you, like when you knew you were gonna do this for the rest of your life or try to?
Not really.
Really?
It was just like I remember. It was the only option ever. I considered like trying to be an engineer one time to like impress my grandfather who built the racing engines and everything. And he was like, yeah, you should do that.
Calm down, Travis.
You should definitely do that. But I didn't, so, and I think he's happy with what I'm doing right now, so, you know.
How many bands have you been in?
Too many to list.
What kinds of bands have you been in?
I started out I played in a worship band at church when I was about 13. That's how I got roped into that whole deal. And then I joined a blues bar band, when I was a teenager, and my mom was like, this is not going well. Come back to Jesus, son.
Not the blues.
Yeah. Or the bars. And I remember there was still smoking in bars back then, so I'd come home and I'd leave my gear in the foyer of the house because we didn't have a very large house. It was like, this is the only place to put my gear. And my parents would come in there, the whole house would just reek of cigarettes whenever they wake up. My mom was just not happy with it. But I went to college at MCC as a guitar major, and I got a gig with a country band, and that was, I stayed with those guys for about 3.5 years, and we did a lot of, they had some original stuff going on whenever I first joined them, and then we started making money, like playing weddings and stuff, and that whole thing snowballed. I mean, it put me through college. I'm grateful for it. Mm-hmm. And I played a lot of guitar during that time. I mean, we're talking about like 4-hour gigs, 5-hour gigs. But I wanted to do something more than just play in a cover wedding band. So I auditioned for this East Texas songwriter guy. Like this guy kind of came up with Cody Johnson, so it's kind of that vein of stuff. And guitar playing, like the guy who played on this record his name is John Carroll, and he's probably the greatest guitar player, probably the greatest country guitar player alive right now. Certainly the greatest in the state of Texas, which was not cool for me because I had to learn all of his licks. It took me a long time, but that was my introduction into like the regional Texas songwriter music scene. And then I went on to play with a few other songwriters after that. And I don't know how far you want me to go with that. It just keeps going, band after band, really, until I ended up here.
So how many years collectively till now?
Playing music or playing with bands?
Playing bands.
I'll be 28 in 2 weeks, and I know I started playing when I was about 7 or 8, so 20 years of music, but it's been 10 years on the road, doing one-night stands, speaking this young life away.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. That's more than enough, I think. I've had my fair share of standing behind other musicians, other artists. Because when you're in that world, it's like, I did work with this one great songwriter. His name's Brandon Ryder. He lives in Austin, and he gave me like pretty much full liberty to do whatever I wanted. And he's still like one of my best friends, and I still go out and play with him every now and then. But all the other guys I worked for, they're like, these are your parts. You need to stick to this. Don't stray too far off of this thing that we've established.
Like the cookie cutter thing every
night. Yeah, I mean, you might as well get a day job somewhere.
Sure.
Because there's not really any creativity involved, and there's a lot of like, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, or whatever. So, for me, it was like I might as well just go get a day job because all I'm doing is getting a paycheck right now. And I wanted to do something more creative than that.
But the better thing is now, tell us about your actual studio that you have. That's your baby.
So, late 2015, early 16, when all this stuff down here kind of started to get going, I met a guy at a gig that I was playing, and I was looking for a place to teach. I've been teaching already for a while, but I didn't have like a place to call my own to teach out of. And this guy was like, I got a perfect place. It's right here on 8th and Washington, and we'll make sure everything is where you need it. You just let me know what you need, and we'll get it going. And so I started teaching lessons out of that space, and then a year later we started building a recording studio, and now both are functioning in a healthy way, which enabled me to like come off the road and focus more on some creative projects, like with the standards.
But also you're offering summer programs and after school now too, so a little bit more about that.
So the summer stuff is like, summer for music teachers is like, you starve. Summer and holidays, because anybody who can afford music lessons is going on vacation, So
or they want to.
It's like, they're like, well, we're not going to pay you for this time because we're going to be doing other stuff, so hopefully you're still in business when we get back and we'll see you in August. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? How about summer camps?
Ramen.
So that's how that whole thing got started. And then actually, it's taken off. We did, the first year we did one summer camp. That was 2016. And this last year we did 4 summer camps in a partnership with MCC, actually. So it's grown a lot. And
I seen you on the cover. It was very exciting.
Yeah, that was nerve-wracking.
But now with your studio, you offer lessons.
Yeah, we do lessons after school. We have programs where we get the kids together and show them how to work in bands, because that's really all I ever wanted to do. Like, through all the years of classical piano and the drum line and the different things, I was like, all I really wanted to do was like play with bands, like play some rock and roll stuff, man. Yeah. Because all the cool kids I knew at school, that's what they did. And I was like,
jam.
I know how to play music, but I don't know how to do that. And there wasn't, like, I couldn't find anywhere to learn how to do that. The internet, like, YouTube wasn't a thing yet, Now you can do it on YouTube, but before that there wasn't.
No.
There wasn't anything. There was some, like, shady websites that you can find some like very terribly written guitar music, and so that was my like goal with this, was to create a place where these kids who were like me that wanted to play with other bands could come and they could figure out how to do this and have everything they need to do it, whether it be a recording studio or music theory knowledge or just networking with other kids their age to do that same thing.
It's like a band dating website,
It
but
is,
not really.
but a real thing. Kind of like this, really.
Kinda like this.
It's like a kids band social club thing.
It's true. All the cool kids hang out, but they just don't want to talk because they're like, oh, I'm not going to talk to them. They talk to me, and it's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Guys, seriously, Josh Barnard has blown my mind this evening. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. And we will have you back really soon.
Yeah. This is a really cool deal. I'm super happy to be a part of it. Thank y'all. Keep Waco Loud, Balcones,
All the
Cultivate
things.
712.
Absolutely. You can pick up all of the, we'll have all of his information for all of his studios and his band and all the things on our website. Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. We really, really appreciate it. It has been such a successful night for the enthusiasm, and thank you for your attention. That's the most important part. Most people talk through the entire thing, but we appreciate you guys actually being attentive because he's very entertaining and actually knows what he's doing. So thank you so much for being out here tonight.
Thank you.
Cheers, Balcones.
Right on.
Hey. Thank y'all.
Well, Amos Moses. Jerry Reed is definitely, I'm like at the core of everything. I do all of these things just so I can play guitar. That's really like where my heart is. And Jerry Reed is one of the greatest guitar players, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure he's a certified Chet Atkins guitar player. I need to fact check that, but well, Amos Moses was Cajun. He lived by himself in the swamp. He hunted alligator for a living. He just knock him in the head with a stomp. The Louisiana law gonna get you, Amos. It ain't illegal hunting alligator down in the swamp, boy. Well, everyone blamed his old man for making him mean as a snake. When Amos Moses was a boy, his daddy would use him for alligator bait. Tie a rope around his waist and throw him in the swamp. Alligator mean in a Louisiana bayou. About 45 minutes southeast of Thibodaux, Louisiana, lived a man called Doc Millsap and his pretty wife Hannah. Well, they raised up a son that could eat up his weight and go shoot. Named him after a man of the cloth. They called him Amos Moses. Well, folks around South Louisiana said Amos was a hell of a man. Well, he could catch the biggest, the meanest alligator and just use one hand. That's all we got left 'cause the alligator bit it. Left arm gone clean up to the elbow. Well, sheriff got wind that Amos was in the swamp trapping alligator skin. So he snuck in the swamp trying to get the boy, but he never come out again. Well, I wonder where the Louisiana sheriff went to. Well, you can sure get lost in the Louisiana bayou. About 45 minutes southeast of Thibodaux, Louisiana, lived a man called Doc Millsap and his pretty wife Hannah. Well, they raised up a son that could eat up his weight and go street. They named him after a man of the cloth. They called him Amos Moses. About 45 minutes southeast of Thibodaux, Louisiana, lived a man called Doc Millsap and his pretty wife Hannah. Well, they raised up a son that could eat up his weight and go street. Named him after a Texas. Thank you very much. This one's for Slum right here. I won't take much of your time. I just need someone to talk to that's kind. You know all my darkest shades. You know everything I keep hidden away. And whenever it seems as if nothing is going my way, you will call and it seems like you always know just what to say. And whenever it seems as if something's gone terribly wrong, there is some kind of power in the sound of your voice, and it keeps me strong. You are steady as the rising sun, but like the moon you keep on shining. Long after the day is done, it seems impossible to think somehow that there's a love that won't ever let me down. Honey, I hope your love won't let me down. Life can drag you through the dirt, but a man can't always tell you exactly where it hurts. But you touch my unhealing heart by making known your very own, till I can't tell us apart. And if a storm or a gale ever capsized the sail, that these words resound. You're the finest of sailing companions the sailor has ever found. If I lose or I win, if the audience spins, you have stuck around. Oh, I may die in the fight, but with you at my side, that won't get me down. 'Cause you are steady as the rising sun, but like the moon you keep on shining. Long after the day is done, it seems impossible to think somehow that there's a love that won't ever let me down. And honey, I hope your love won't let me down. Thank you. I wrote this song the other day. I hadn't pulled it out with the fellas the other day. We tried to work it up, and they're like, "What are those chords, man? You need to write that out for us." And then I was like, "Actually, I don't really know." I hadn't thought too far into it. Not even sure what it's about. The price of luxury never seemed too much for me. Lord, I tried and I tried to give you what you think you need. Sometimes too much is too much. Don't you think we've had enough of this curse that has made our family bleed? We found out too well the price of luxury. Well, we've been here before, and I thought we'd learn. But you dangle yellow gold in her eyes, and the table turned. Well, sometimes too much is too much. But don't you think we've had enough of this curse that has made our family bleed? We found out too well the price of luxury. Well, sometimes too much is too much. Don't you think we've had enough of this curse that has made our family bleed? We found out too well the price of luxury. Thank you. Well, I'll leave you on that unless there's any kind of opposition that I'm up against tonight. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for being kind.